Picture this. You're behind the wheel, cruising through Switzerland. You've got these winding roads, epic mountain backdrops, and these stunning, pristine lakes around every single corner. I mean, it is the road trip of a lifetime. But that kind of perfection comes with a price. And I'm not just talking about the coffee. The rules of the road here are as precise as a Swiss watch, and trust me, they are strictly enforced. So let's just dive right in. We're talking about maybe doing the grand tour of Switzerland, right? That's over 1,000 miles of some of the most beautiful scenery on the entire planet. The roads are smooth, the other drivers are disciplined. It really does feel like a dream. But to keep it that way and not a total nightmare of fines, you really need to know the playbook. And just like that, bam, reality hits. See this number? 250 Swiss francs. That is the on-the-spot fine for ignoring a single red light. There are no warnings, no discussions. This isn't just a scenic drive. It's a high-stakes journey where every single rule matters. So, let's get you prepared. All right, first up, your pre-drive checklist. Before you even think about putting the car in gear, there are a few absolute non-negotiables. Getting these right from the very start is your ticket to a smooth and, frankly, a much, much cheaper journey. Here are the big three. Number 1, you absolutely have to have a vignette for driving on the motorway. 2, you need a warning triangle that's within easy reach, not, buried under all your luggage in the trunk. And 3, of course, have your valid driver's license and vehicle documents ready to go. So let's break down that first one. So what on earth is a vignette? Well, think of it as your ticket to ride on Switzerland's incredible motorways, the Autobahns. It costs 40 Swiss francs and it's valid for the entire calendar year. You can grab one at a border crossing, most gas stations, or you can even get it online before your trip. It's kind of the perfect Swiss system. Pay one flat fee for amazing roads. But what happens if you forget? Or maybe you decide to just risk it? Well, that's going to be a 200 franc fine plus the 40 francs you have to spend to buy the vignette anyway. That is a very, very expensive mistake for skipping a simple little sticker. So what's the bottom line? Get the vignette. Okay, with your checklist all sorted, you are ready to roll. Now we're going to move on to mastering the core rules. You can think of these as the fundamental rhythm of the road in Switzerland, the things you'll be living by from moment to moment while you're driving. The first thing you've got to understand is the precision of Swiss speed limits. They are not suggestions. It's 120 kilometers per hour on motorways, 100 on expressways, 80 on rural roads, and then it drops down to 50 or even 30 in towns. And they take this so seriously. The fines for speeding get expensive fast. For example, going just 11 kilometers an hour over in a town can cost you 250 francs. Okay, here's a rule that catches a lot of visitors completely off guard. Your headlights have to be on 24/7. It doesn't matter if it's a bright, beautiful, sunny day. It's a mandatory safety feature, and you guessed it, there's a penalty if you forget. And there it is, a 40 franc fine for something as simple as forgetting to flick a switch. It's a perfect example of how these small oversights can add up really, really quickly if you're not paying attention. And a few other key reminders just build on this whole picture of safety. You drive on the right. Seat belts are mandatory for everyone in the car, front and back. Using a handheld phone while driving is a huge no-no. And this is a big one for some people. You cannot turn right on a red light, ever. You wait for the green. These are the basics that keep the traffic flowing safely. Okay, now this is where things can get a little bit tricky for outsiders. Right-of-way or priority, it's kind of like a puzzle. But once you know the core pieces of the puzzle, it all makes perfect sense. So, here's the fundamental rule. At an unmarked intersection, traffic coming from your right has priority, and that includes cyclists. However, if you see that yellow diamond sign, that means you are on a priority road, and you have the right-of-way over any traffic coming from the side streets. So just look for that sign. It's your key to the whole puzzle. And then there are the trump cards. These road users have absolute priority no matter what. Trams always go first. Emergency vehicles with sirens, obviously. You have to stop for pedestrians who are waiting to cross at a zebra crossing, and you have to let public buses pull out from their stops. It's all about respecting public transport and keeping everyone safe. Okay, now for the most serious section. When it comes to drinking and driving, Switzerland has near zero tolerance, and the penalties are incredibly severe. These are the rules you simply cannot afford to bend. So the standard blood alcohol limit is 0.05%. But look at the limit for new and professional drivers, 0.01%. That is, for all intents and purposes, zero. They say it accounts for trace alcohol you might get from something like eating fruit. The message is crystal clear. If you are a new or a professional driver, do not drink anything at all before you get behind the wheel. If you're caught with a blood alcohol level somewhere between 0.05% and 0.079%, this is your starting penalty. We're talking a fine in the range of 600 to 800 francs plus a formal reprimand. And that's if you haven't broken any other rules at the same time. But once you cross that 0.08% threshold, the consequences escalate dramatically. You will lose your license for at least 3 months. You're going to face a heavy fine that is actually based on your income, and you'll get a suspended monetary penalty on top of that. The takeaway here is so simple. Just don't do it. The risk is not even remotely worth the consequences. Finally, let's talk about special conditions. Switzerland's unique geography, the mountains and valleys, presents some driving challenges you just won't find everywhere. From snowy mountain passes to tight city parking, here's what you need to know to handle them like a local. So here are 3 unique situations to be ready for. In the winter tires are very strongly advised, and on some roads, signs will actually tell you snow chains are mandatory. On narrow mountain roads, the vehicle going uphill has priority. And for parking, you gotta watch the colors. White zones are paid. Blue zones require a time disc for limited free parking, and yellow zones are private. Do not park there. This quote from one of our sources really just sums it all up perfectly. Yeah, the fines are high, and they're a great motivator for sure. But the real reason for all of this precision is safety for you, for your passengers, and for everyone else who's sharing these incredible roads. So if your brain is totally full right now, let's just boil it down to this. Remember these 3 things. Buy your vignette, keep your headlights on at all times, and watch your speed like a hawk. Mastering just these 3 things will save you a world of trouble. We started with this dream of a perfect Swiss road trip, and now you've got the knowledge to actually make it happen without all the financial stress. The rules aren't there to spoil your fun. They're there to preserve the safety and the efficiency that make driving here so special in the first place. So, are you ready?